I cannot believe that in the last 2 years, I've consistently hit 70 to 75 lakhs as a freelancer. And this is your girl Saheli telling you all the things that I wish I had been told when I got started as a freelancer. These are the lessons I've learned in the last 8 years with a lot of trial, error. And I'm pretty sure that if you are getting started as a freelancer or trying to make your first lakh or even trying to hit high income goals, these will help you avoid the mistakes I made. Now, in case you're new to my channel, hi, I'm Saheli. I have been freelancing as a marketing strategist for the last 5 years. In the last 3 years, I've worked with some of the top brands in India and globally. Some of the top names across social platforms are my clients, and I handle their social media, websites, and funnels. I have also recently started an agency which is called Coffee Media, and a lot of these clients are handled under this label. But to make over 50 lakhs in India as a freelancer, you have to know a few things that I'm going to tell you today. And the first thing that I think was a shocker revelation to me is how much money you're going to make is not dependent on how much money an industry has. Let me explain. Even if content writers or social media managers make a lot of money, if that's not your true calling, you will not be able to make money in this niche. However, a lot of people say that video editors cannot make as much money anymore because the niche is getting saturated. That's so untrue. If you're really, really good at video editing, I know that there's so much demand. So don't make decisions only because many people in a market are making money. When I got started, I made the mistake of choosing content writing as my niche initially because I had less exposure, and also because I felt like I enjoy writing, so I must be a good content writer. But content writing as an industry and wanting to write as a creative aspiration are two very different things, and they were not complementing my skills, which meant that I was not making good money for at least 2-3 years, even though I was working really hard, because I was not cut out for that role. The moment I shifted to marketing due to my creative nature, because of my ability to brainstorm and to pitch to multiple clients across the globe, I was making much more money, much more fast. And also, the demand in marketing grew. So that really helped me. So I would recommend you do not think too much. Don't look at me or other freelancers making marketing agencies and start marketing because you feel like there's a lot of money in this niche. At the end of the day, it's about the skill that you enjoy serving the most, because that's where you will get paid. Number two, success begets a lot of opportunities. So you should never stop tooting your own horn. I handle so many client accounts, and both my clients and even my students who I teach social media to, they don't want to talk about their successes. They don't want to share that they got a certain impression. They don't want to share that they reached a certain milestone. But the thing is, if you do not do that for yourself, who's going to do that for you? I get a lot of people getting offended when I talk about my successes, my clients, my financial or team success. But the thing is, if I don't do that, who is going to do that for me? I am my first biggest cheerleader. I am, of course, my biggest cheerleader. So why wouldn't I say that? And same for you. If you don't talk about how good you are at what you do, clients are not going to come to you. People are not going to want to buy from you. And if you are not ready to show up in your full skills, you will not get clients, and there'll be people half as talented as you taking the clients who you could have helped better. So it's not just about tooting your horn, it's actually making sure that the people who need you and need your service get to know about your service availability. So I encourage my clients and students to talk about their collaborations, even if they have just gotten a certain reach or they have just gotten a single client. Please talk about that, because a lot of people will look at it and then they will feel like, oh, this guy or girl is doing things right. So they will come to you because they saw that one post from you. If you don't talk about your own successes, no one else will, and you will lose out on opportunities. So success begets opportunities. Don't be afraid to toot your own horn. Number three, retention is so much more important than acquisition. What do I mean by this? There's a lot of my friends who onboard amazing clients each and every month. In the last 2-3 years, I've seen some of them work with some really, really cool clients that I am jealous of. However, a lot of them actually struggle with retaining those clients because when you onboard too many clients at once, you're not able to keep up with the quality. For me, I have always prioritized handling my clients every month well over acquiring new clients. With the kind of reach I have, I can easily get on 20-30 calls each and every month and convert at least 10 of them. But at max, we take 2 to 3 clients per month, no more than that, because I know that me and my team cannot handle any more than that on an average month. There's even been month where we have only onboarded one client because we did not want to deteriorate the quality of our work for our existing clients. This is exactly why we have clients who are working with us for more than 2-3 years. That means the clients which we are working with are paying us at least 10 to 12 lakhs every year. That's exactly how I'm able to hit high income goals, even if I don't have to handle a lot of clients and headache, because the clients we are getting, they become long-term clients for us. So if you want to make really good money, focus on retention and not on acquiring new clients each and every month. Number 4, network with high value people with intent. A lot of people start networking when they start working online, but they are networking with the people who cannot help you. If you are a content writer, you must network with agencies. If you're a graphic designer, you must collaborate with web designers and social media managers because they might have referrals for you. Set up JVs and network with people of high intent. Also, a lot of times when you're serving high quality clients, technically they give you much better referrals than if you were to onboard whoever can just pay for your service. So that is very, very important. Network, but network with intent. There are 3 types of networking, in my opinion. Number 1 is the kind of networking with the people who can afford you. Number 2 is the kind of networking with the people who can definitely afford you, but they won't want to work with you because they work with much more premium freelancers. And that challenges you on a whole different level. And number 3, networking with peers who can give you referrals and opportunities. These 3 types of networking are the networking types I will personally recommend everyone to do. I will recommend you some templates for each type in the description below. The next thing I wish someone had told me is taxes are a necessary evil. Now, what do I mean by that? Taxes in India are extremely complicated. And if you're making over 20 lakhs in India as a freelancer, please get yourself a good CA or at least consult a CA so that you don't make any taxation errors. 3 years ago, when I hit my highest incomes, I did not know how to go about taxes. I didn't even know that I have to be GST registered because I come from a service based family background. So we had no exposure to business and how it works. So since I lost a lot of money because of that, I wouldn't want you to go through the same. So the moment you hit 20 lakhs in a certain year, please talk to a CA. Even if you're feeling that you're going to hit that amount, you're close, please talk to a CA because a CA will help you save so much money as a freelance. There's so many tax benefits that you can get. So please talk to someone. I don't know which country you're watching this from, but there are various programs and schemes available for freelancers to benefit you because freelancers do add a lot to our country's economy. We are technically bringing in money to India if you're serving clients abroad. So make sure that you're taking advantage of all the schemes available. I didn't do that initially and I really regret it. So yeah, hopefully this will save you. The next thing no one told me about is the concept of subjective value. You see, last month I had 2 prospect calls. Both these prospects wanted me to do a website for them. For both, I quoted a similar price. For one, the price was around 5 lakhs. For the other one, the price was around 7 lakhs for a complete website redesign. And that's a very reasonable rate. For the 7 lakhs client, I got the payment fully in advance without any hesitation. But for the client I had quoted 5 lakhs to, not only did the client did not go for the service, but they went to the extent of saying that, why don't you reduce 10 from the pricing? Can you imagine that? Like, that's the kind of objections I'm getting with so much reputation, with this kind of social presence, and with a lot of proof of work. So if you are getting rejections, if you are getting clients who are giving you very hard objections, don't worry, it happens to everyone. It happened with me last month. But the funniest part about this is that it's subjective. For the client who was not ready to pay 5 lakhs for a website, the website was a good to have thing. It was not a priority for them. Their main business was coming through word of mouth. So it does not really make a lot of sense for them right now to invest in a website. So they were trying to negotiate because that would help them. But for the other client, the website was a priority because they get a lot of their deals through their website. And also they're selling a very premium service for which the website needs to look super sleek and clean. Otherwise, people will not trust it enough to purchase. So for the client who was ready to pay more, the subjective value of our service was higher. That's exactly why they were ready to pay more. Understand who values your service more because that person will easily pay you more than those who don't. The next thing is a little bit more personal. Remember what's truly important to you. I got so busy working and making money that I really forgot that the thing that's really important to me is to have time to read and a space that I truly enjoy inhabiting and reading books at. So finally, since last year, I started reading more. It has definitely impacted my growth a little bit. I have maintained the business that I have. I've not scaled it too much, but I definitely have so much more happiness because I am able to read more. I am able to do the things I enjoy more. I'm able to take trips. I'm able to take my team out on trips with me. And these are the things that are so much more fun than just focusing on revenue growth for me as an individual or even as a company. So, what was truly important to me is finally a part of my life. As you see behind me, I have so many books waiting to be unboxed. And, I'm really happy with my life right now, which I feel was really lacking in 2022 because I was so busy scaling, right? I don't regret that, but it's really important for you to remember why you started a freelancing journey in the first place. And if it was for freedom, ask yourself if you really have it or just the illusion of it. Next tip I'll give you is charge in advance. Charge a very high amount in advance or fully in advance if you're serving freelancing services so that you do not get cheated. This has never happened to me, but I hear so many stories about being hosted during payments or not being paid at all or only getting a small portion of the pay in the final deliverable. So that's something you want to avoid. One of my favorite ways to charge in advance is that either they will pay 50% advance and 50% at the end of the service, or they can pay fully in advance and get a 5 to 10% off. This makes sense for the client because they'll be paying lesser. It makes sense for me because if the payment is fully taken care of, I can focus on my service without worrying about whether I'm going to get paid or not. Next thing I wish someone told me is to believe in God and have faith. I think I was an atheist when I was growing up. I didn't have any strong reasons to believe in God, but then the last 2-3 years have fully put my faith in him. And I cannot tell you about the internal transformation I feel. Maybe I look like the same person, maybe I talk like the same person, but I know that internally, ever since I have believed in him, I have felt so much more at peace. I'm very specifically a devotee of Lord Shiva. I feel like so many things about him just resonate with me. And there are a few things that I asked of him. And I wouldn't like to say that it's a give and take relationship, of course, but I know that he's taking care of me. I know that there have been so many times that I have blamed God for certain things that happened to me, only to see later that I am glad it happened, because if it didn't, it wouldn't have made way for better things. So I feel like that internal transformation you have in your transformation journey, wealth wise, is so important, because if you don't have that, you will not have inner peace no matter how much money you have. I had so much growth in 2021 2022 period, and that growth was so rapid, but I still didn't have any peace because so many things in my life were going wrong that were totally outside the domain of finances. And it only got better when I put my faith in him, right? Very specifically, I started fasting on Mondays, and I don't know if it was just because of the fast or anything like that, but I truly felt like a different person. And within a few months, my life had totally changed. Maybe I'll talk about it in my personal channel, Heli, but faith is so important. Whoever is the God that you believe in or your family believes in, I hope that you find a lot of peace when you have faith. And the last thing I wish someone told me is that I should be proud of my country and where I come from. There's been so many times that I have gotten objections like, oh, you're from India, so why are you charging so much? Oh, UK people also don't charge this much, blah, blah, blah. But what I should charge as a freelancer or a service provider, what you should charge, does not depend on your location or where you're paying your rent or where you're living. It depends on what kind of service and value you offer and how it transforms the business that you are working for. If you have social proof, if you have proof of your work, why would you charge based on purchasing power parity? You should be charging based on your skill set level. Let my words be a sign for you to not negotiate only because global clients are asking you to. I know there's a very bad narrative in some high ticket courses that is taught that Indian and Philippines freelancers charge very less, but that is not the kind of narrative that should be encouraged. And we as freelancers representing India, we should not be accepting that, because when we do that, we actually bring down the entire market rate with us. So please do not settle for less. Charge high, charge as per global standards, and most importantly, serve as per and even beyond global standards. And yeah, I guess that would be my tips for you. I know that it sounds crazy to be making over 75 lakhs as a freelancer sitting in India, but when you actually get here, you realize that the journey is not that difficult. It's the sustenance and maintenance that actually takes more time. So I hope that you're here. If you like this video, let me know in the comments below. If you have any questions specifically for me, let me know. I will try my best to answer them. And this is Saheli signing off. I'll see you with another video next week on this channel, Saheli Chatterjee. Bye bye.